I woke on my 31st birthday to the sound of my phone vibrating beside my bed. I reached for it without thinking, expecting a message from Noah. Instead, I saw one name. Mia. My hand stopped. "No," I whispered. "That's impossible." I stared at the screen until the notification nearly disappeared. Then I tapped it. Her voice filled my room. "Happy birthday, Ethan. I hope you're doing well. I know it's been a long time. I wish I could tell you everything, but maybe someday you'll understand." I closed my eyes. 7 years. 7 birthdays. Every year, I received a voicemail from Mia. Every year, I convinced myself she was alive somewhere. Every year, I told myself that one day she might come back. Then her voice changed. "Ethan, if you are finally ready to know why I left, look beneath the old oak tree." The message ended. I sat completely still. "Mia," I whispered. "What are you doing?" I played it again. Then again. The words were identical each time. I grabbed my phone and called the number. One ring. Then a recording. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." "No," I said. "Try again." I called again. The same message answered me. I threw off my blanket and walked to the window. Across the street, morning traffic moved normally, but my world had suddenly changed. The old oak tree. I knew exactly what she meant. It stood behind the house where Mia and I had lived before everything fell apart. I had proposed to her beneath that tree. I called Noah. He answered after 3 rings. "Happy birthday, man." "Forget my birthday." That sounds cheerful. What happened? Mia called me. Silence. What? I got a voicemail from Mia. "Ethan, Mia has been gone for 7 years." "I know." "Then you didn't get a voicemail from her." I heard her voice. Noah sighed. Could someone have copied an old recording? She said something only Mia would know. What did she say? She told me to look beneath the old oak tree. Another silence followed. "Ethan, don't." "Don't what?" "Don't chase this." "I'm going." "Why?" "Because I've spent 7 years wondering if she was alive." "And what if this destroys you?" "I'm already destroyed." Noah's voice softened. "Then let me come with you." "No. I need to do this myself." You always say that before making the worst decision of your life. Maybe this is the one decision I have to make. I ended the call before he could argue. 20 minutes later, I was driving toward the old house. Every mile brought back something I had tried to bury. I remembered Mia laughing in the passenger seat. I remembered her stealing fries from my plate. I remembered the night beneath the oak tree when I had held a ring in my shaking hand. She had cried. Then she had said yes. I parked outside the abandoned house. "Why did you send me here?" I asked the empty yard. The oak tree stood exactly where I remembered it. I walked toward it and knelt near the roots. Nothing. I moved dirt with my hands. Still nothing. "Come on, Mia." My fingers hit metal. I froze. I dug faster until I uncovered a small metal box. My heart began pounding. "This better not be another memory," I whispered. The box was locked. Then I remembered the voicemail. I searched my pockets and found nothing. The key from the message was not there because I had not found one yet. I examined the box and noticed a tiny latch. I pushed it. Click. The lid opened. Inside were 3 things. An old photograph, a small brass key, and a folded piece of paper. I picked up the photograph first. It showed Mia and me beside the river. We were smiling like the future belonged to us. I touched her face with my thumb. "I never stopped loving you." My voice broke. Then I opened the note. My eyes moved across the first sentence. "You were never supposed to receive these messages." I read it again. Then I looked at the date. My breathing stopped. No. The date was 2 years after Mia supposedly disappeared. I turned the paper over. Nothing. I checked the photograph. Nothing. I looked back at the handwriting. I knew every curve of those letters. Mia wrote this. I stood beneath the oak tree, clutching the note. 7 years of grief suddenly felt like a lie. I whispered the only question left in my mind. Where were you for those 2 years? My phone vibrated again. I looked down. Another notification appeared. No name. No number. Just one message. Now you know she was still alive. I stared at the screen. Then I heard a car door slam somewhere behind me. I turned slowly. Who's there? No answer came. I stepped away from the tree and looked toward the road. A dark car was parked near the old house, but I could not see the driver. My phone vibrated again. Do not trust your brother. I read the sentence twice. My brother. I called Noah. He answered immediately. Did you find something? Yes. What? A box. A note. A key. What does the note say? It says Mia was alive 2 years after she disappeared. Noah stopped breathing for a moment. Ethan, come home. I can't. Why? Because someone just told me not to trust Daniel. Who sent it? I don't know. Then leave. Right now. I looked toward the dark car. I think someone is watching me. Get in your car. I grabbed the box and ran. As I reached my car, I looked back once. The dark vehicle was gone. I locked my doors and held the metal box against my chest. For 7 years, I had believed Mia abandoned me. Now I understood something much worse. Someone had worked hard to make me believe she was gone. And I had no idea why. I drove straight from the old house to the storage facility named on the back of Mia's photograph. The brass key felt heavy in my pocket. At the desk, I showed the clerk my identification. Unit 214, I said. It belonged to Mia Carter. He checked his screen. Are you family? I was her fiancé. He looked at me for a moment. Then you should know the unit hasn't been opened in years. Who has access? Only the owner and one authorized person. Who? He hesitated. Ryan Blake. My stomach tightened. Give me the key. Inside, I found boxes stacked against the walls. I opened the first one and saw our photographs. The next held my old letters. Another contained the blue sweater Mia used to steal from me. I picked up a broken watch. You kept this? I whispered. I remembered giving it to her after I accidentally cracked the glass. She had laughed and said, I'll keep it because it reminds me that even broken things can still matter. I swallowed hard. Then I noticed a black box beneath the sweater. Inside were documents, bank statements, company records, and handwritten notes. One name appeared again and again. Ryan Blake. I grabbed my phone and called him. He answered. Ethan. Where are you? Why? Because I found Mia's files. Silence. What files? Documents about financial fraud. Your name is everywhere. Listen to me. You don't understand what you found. Then explain it. I can't do that over the phone. Where? Carter Street. 20 minutes. I drove there without thinking. Ryan stood outside an empty office when I arrived. I walked straight toward him. You knew. He frowned. Knew what? You knew Mia was investigating you. I knew she was investigating the company. You lied to her. No. You forced her to disappear. Ryan's face hardened. Is that what you believe? What else am I supposed to believe? He stepped closer. You still think Mia left because she stopped loving you. That is the lie you were meant to believe. My chest tightened. Who told you to say that? Mia did. I stared at him. Where is she? Ryan looked away. I can't answer that. You will. I promised her. I grabbed his jacket. You don't get to protect her anymore. I lost 7 years because of this. Ryan pushed my hand away. You lost 7 years because people thought you were safer not knowing. Who were these people? Before he could answer, a woman's voice cut through the argument. Ryan, stop. I turned. Lena Carter stood behind me. I had not seen Mia's sister in years. She looked at me with anger. You should have stayed away, Ethan. I tried. No, you didn't. You kept asking questions. Because Mia disappeared. And you think you were the only one who suffered. Her voice cracked. I lowered mine. Tell me what you know. Lena stared at me. Mia was afraid. Of Ryan. No. Then who? I don't know. Lena, please. She looked toward Ryan. He knows more than I do. Ryan shook his head. Not enough. Lena continued. Before Mia vanished, she received anonymous letters. My family got them too after she disappeared. What did they say? Stop looking. Forget Mia. Or Ethan will pay. My hands went cold. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was scared. So was Mia. Yes. I looked at Ryan. Who sent them? We never proved it, he said. I left before either of them could stop me. I drove to Mrs. Brooks's house, the only person I remembered living near our old home. She opened the door slowly. Ethan. I need to ask you something about Mia. Her expression changed. I knew you would come eventually. My heart sank. What did you see? 3 days before Mia disappeared, I saw her beside a black car. Ryan. No. Then who? She gripped the door. Your brother. I stopped breathing. Daniel. I'm certain. Did Mia get inside? Yes. Where did they go? I couldn't see. I thanked her and drove straight to my brother's house. Daniel opened the door. Ethan. Where did you take Mia? His face changed. What are you talking about? Mrs. Brooks saw you. He closed his eyes. Come inside. No. Answer me here. I drove her somewhere. Where? I can't tell you. You lied to me for 7 years. I was trying to protect you. From what? Daniel looked at me with tears in his eyes. Ethan, Mia didn't leave you. We were trying to make sure you survived her leaving. I shook my head. You expect me to accept that? No. Then tell me everything. I can't tonight. Why not? Because someone is still watching. My anger turned into fear. Who? I don't know. You always say you don't know. I'm telling you the truth now. Then give me something real. Daniel reached into his pocket and handed me a folded envelope. Mia gave me this the night I drove her away. I stared at it. Why didn't you give it to me? Because she told me to wait until you found the box. I opened the envelope. Inside was one sentence in Mia's handwriting. Ethan, if you are reading this, you finally found the door. I looked up. What door? Daniel's face went pale. The one they never wanted you to open. I tightened my grip on the letter. Then I'm opening it. Daniel reached for my arm. Ethan, wait. I pulled away. I waited 7 years. I know. Then no more waiting. I walked toward my car, holding Mia's letter tightly, and made myself one promise: I would uncover everything. I felt the ground disappear beneath me. Who were you protecting me from? Daniel looked toward the road. Not who. Then what? He whispered, the truth. I stared at him, realizing my brother had known far more than he ever admitted. And for the first time, I wondered whether finding Mia's truth would save me, or destroy whatever remained of my life. I left with Mia's letter against my chest, asking myself one question. If Daniel lied about her, what else had everyone ever hidden from me too? I drove back to Daniel's house before sunrise, carrying Mia's letter in my pocket. You promised to tell me everything, I said when he opened the door. I promised I would try. That is not good enough. Daniel looked exhausted. Ethan, there are things you cannot understand yet. Then help me understand. I can't. Why? Because the person who can explain it is Marcus Reed. Who is Marcus? Mia's investigator. I stared at him. She had an investigator. Yes. And you knew. I knew she was investigating something dangerous. Where is he? Daniel handed me a card. Meet him at the old courthouse. I drove there. Marcus waited inside a quiet office. He stood when I entered. Ethan Cole. Yes. I'm Marcus Reed. Daniel said you knew Mia. I did. Then tell me why she disappeared. Marcus placed a thick folder on the table. Before I explain, you need to see this. I opened it. Bank records filled the first pages. What am I looking at? Transactions made using your name. I frowned. I never opened these accounts. I know. Then who did? We never proved it. Was Ryan involved? Ryan helped Mia investigate it. So Ryan wasn't stealing from her. No. He was trying to help her. I turned another page. My name appeared beside several transfers. This is impossible. Mia discovered the fraud 6 weeks before she vanished. Why didn't she tell me? Because she believed someone was watching you. I felt my hands begin to shake. Who? She didn't know. Then why disappear? Marcus leaned forward. She believed staying close to you would make you a target. I looked at the folder again. So she left to protect me? Yes. I laughed bitterly. She could have told me. She wanted to. Then why didn't she? Because the danger became worse. I stood. No. I need more than that. Marcus opened another file. Mia recorded these messages herself. I stared at him. The birthday voicemails. All of them. Every year. Yes. Why? Because she knew you would search for her if you believed she was gone. My chest tightened. So she wanted me to think she was alive. She wanted you to keep living. I sat down again. Where is she now? Marcus said nothing. Where is Mia? He opened a small envelope. Read this. I pulled out a letter. My eyes recognized her handwriting. I unfolded it with trembling fingers. Ethan, if you are reading this, then Marcus finally gave you my letter. I stopped. Marcus quietly said, keep reading. I continued. I know you will be angry. I know you will think I betrayed you. I never did. I loved you every day, even when I could not stand beside you. My eyes burned. She continued. I wanted to come home. More than anything, I wanted to hear you complain about my cooking and steal the blanket from me again. But every time I imagined returning, I imagined someone finding you. I covered my mouth. Marcus said nothing. I read the next line. I am running out of time, Ethan. My breathing became shallow. What does that mean? I looked at Marcus. He lowered his eyes. I kept reading. If you ever hear my voice after my birthday message ends, please don't look for me. I need you to live. The letter slipped from my fingers. No. I stood so quickly that the chair moved backward. No, she wrote this because she planned to disappear. Marcus remained silent. She could still be alive. Ethan. No. You don't know that. I know what happened. Then tell me. He took a slow breath. Mia was sick. My anger vanished. What? She had been sick for months. Why didn't she tell me? She was afraid you would abandon everything to stay with her. That was my choice. I know. She should have trusted me. Marcus looked at me sadly. She trusted your love. That was exactly what frightened her. I shook my head. You're lying. I wish I were. Where did she go? Marcus reached for another folder. Before she disappeared, Mia entered a treatment center outside the city. Which one? St. Helens. I'll go there. You can. Then give me the address. Marcus pushed the folder toward me. I opened it. Inside was a photograph. Mia stood beside a hospital bed, thinner than I remembered. My knees weakened. She died there. Marcus nodded. When? I could barely speak. 7 years ago. No. Ethan. No. I slammed my hand against the table. You expect me to believe she died 7 years ago while I was listening to her voice every birthday? She recorded the messages before she died. I stared at the photograph. Then why keep them going? Because she wanted you to have one reason to wake up every year. I wiped my eyes. She was cruel. Marcus shook his head. She was scared. I loved her. I know. She should have let me choose. I agree. Silence filled the room. Then Marcus said, There is one more thing. I looked up. What? He opened the final page. This involves your family. My heart stopped. What did Mia discover? Marcus slid the document toward me. I read the name at the top. Daniel Cole. I looked at Marcus. My brother. Marcus nodded. Mia discovered that Daniel knew about the fraud before she disappeared. I felt sick. You said he was protecting me. He was. Then why is his name here? Marcus met my eyes. Because Daniel wasn't only protecting you. I swallowed. What was he protecting? Marcus pointed to the final line. Your father's secret. I stared at the page, unable to breathe. My father died 12 years ago. I know. Then what secret could he possibly have left? Marcus closed the folder. That is what you need to find out. I picked up Mia's letter. For 7 years, I had believed my greatest loss was Mia. Now I understood something worse. Mia had died protecting me from a truth my own family had buried. I drove home with Marcus's words burning inside my head. Daniel knew. My mother knew. Everyone had known something about Mia except me. I entered the house and found my mother in the kitchen. Where is Daniel? She looked at my face. Ethan, what happened? Stop asking questions. Start answering mine. Daniel came from the hallway. Ethan, please. No. I want the truth. My mother lowered her eyes. What did Mia tell you the night before she disappeared? My mother froze. You know about that. I know enough. Daniel whispered, Marcus told you. Marcus showed me the records. He showed me Mia's letter. He told me she was sick. My mother covered her mouth. You knew. Tears filled her eyes. Yes. I felt something inside me break. For 7 years. I wanted to tell you. Then why didn't you? Because Mia begged me not to. I stared at her. Why? She came here the night before she disappeared. She was frightened. She told us someone was using your name in illegal transactions. I know. She said if you learned the truth, you would try to help her. Of course I would. She knew you would. My mother began crying. She said she was sick, Ethan. She said her illness was getting worse. I stepped backward. How sick? She did not know how much time she had. Did she know she was dying? She feared it. I looked at Daniel. And you? Daniel swallowed. I helped her leave. You drove her away. Yes. You watched me spend 7 years believing she abandoned me. I thought keeping you alive mattered more. I laughed bitterly. You stole 7 years from me. I know. No, you don't. I do. You had no right to make that choice for me. Daniel's voice cracked. She wanted you alive. And I wanted her. Silence filled the room. I wiped my eyes. Why did everyone make me hate her? My mother whispered, because we thought hatred would hurt less than grief. It didn't. Daniel looked down. I'm sorry. Sorry cannot give me those years back. I know. I turned toward the door. Where is David? My mother suddenly grabbed my arm. Ethan, don't go to him. Why? Because Mia was afraid of her father. I stopped. Her father? Daniel nodded. Mia discovered where the money was going. Where? To debts David had hidden from everyone. I stared at him. You're saying David used Mia's company? Yes. Then Ryan. Ryan was helping Mia expose him. I felt the anger inside me change direction. I blamed Ryan. So did Mia's father. I called Ryan immediately. He answered after one ring. Ethan. Tell me the truth. I will. You were helping Mia. Yes. Why didn't you tell me? Mia made me promise. Was David behind the fraud? Ryan went quiet. Yes. I closed my eyes. Where is he? At his house. I drove there. David opened the door and looked surprised. Ethan. I know. His face changed. You know what? Everything. He stepped aside. Come in. I entered. Did you use Mia's company to pay your debts? He said nothing. Answer me. Yes. My chest tightened. Did Mia discover it? Yes. Did you threaten her? I never wanted her hurt. But you were afraid she would expose you. I was desperate. You destroyed her life. I destroyed my own life. You destroyed mine too. He lowered his head. Mia was going to tell you. When? When she had enough evidence. But she died first. His eyes filled with tears. Yes. I clenched my fists. You let me believe she left because she stopped loving me. I never told you that. You let everyone believe it. I was ashamed. That is not an excuse. I know. I turned toward the door. Then why did Mia keep sending those birthday messages? David looked at me. Because she wanted you to live. I stopped. She told me that if you ever found the truth, you would spend your life searching for someone you could never find. My throat tightened. She loved me until the end. Yes. I looked at David. What happens now? He walked toward a locked cabinet. Mia left something for you. My heart raced. What? A package. Where? Here. He placed a sealed box on the table. She told me never to open it. Why didn't you destroy it? Because she said only you could decide what should happen to it. I stared at the box. What is inside? I don't know. You never looked. No. Why? Because Mia made me promise. I reached for the package, but stopped. For 7 years, I had wanted answers. Now the final answer was sitting in front of me. David whispered, "Ethan, before you open it, understand something." What? Mia knew exactly what she was doing. I looked at the box. And what did she want me to do? David shook his head. That choice belongs to you. I held the package against my chest. For the first time, I understood that Mia's final gift was not another explanation. It was a decision. And whatever waited inside could change everything I believed about the woman I had loved. I sat down and stared at the seal. David, tell me one thing. What? Did Mia blame me? He shook his head. Never. She blamed herself for leaving you without answers. Tears ran down my face. That was never her fault. I know. I hated her for leaving. She knew. I thought she forgot me. She never did. I pressed my palm against the box. Then I owe her the truth too. I looked at them. No more secrets. My mother nodded through tears. No more. I looked at the sealed package quietly. Then I'll open it. My fingers touched the seal. But before I broke it, David spoke. Ethan, whatever you find inside, remember this. I looked at him. She chose you. I whispered, I know. And I prepared myself to hear her last truth. I waited until I was alone before opening Mia's final package. My hands shook as I broke the seal. Inside, I found her red scarf, the one she wore on our first date. Beneath it was a photograph of us beside the river and one final letter. I whispered, Mia, what did you leave me? I unfolded the letter. Ethan, if you are reading this, then you finally know the truth. I wish I could have told you myself. I swallowed hard and continued. I know you spent 7 years believing I abandoned you. Please forgive me for making you believe that. I never stopped loving you. I pressed the letter against my chest. She continued. Please do not spend another day blaming yourself. You did nothing wrong. You loved me. You trusted me. You would have stayed, and that is why I had to leave. Tears filled my eyes. I wanted to stay, I whispered. You should have let me. I kept reading. If I had stayed, you would have followed me into danger. If I had told you about my illness, you would have forgotten your own life to take care of me. I could not let that happen. I closed my eyes. You should have trusted me, I said. Her letter answered the words I could not say. Ethan, loving someone does not always mean holding on. Sometimes it means letting go when holding on would destroy them. I cried silently. For 7 years, I punished myself for your choice, I whispered. Then I read her final paragraph. Please live. Fall in love again if your heart allows it. Laugh without feeling guilty. Celebrate your birthday without waiting for my voice. My greatest wish is not that you remember my death. It is that you remember how happy we were. I touched the photograph. I remember. I folded the letter carefully. I forgive you, Mia. Then I understood something I had refused to accept for years. I had been punishing myself for a choice that had never been mine. The next morning, I met Ryan. Are you ready? He asked. Yes. I recovered the remaining financial records. Will they prove everything? They prove enough. And David? He will have to answer for what he did. The investigation moved quickly. I gave investigators every document Mia had left behind. Ryan gave them the records he had recovered. My family finally stopped hiding the truth. A week later, David called me. Ethan, I know you have the evidence. Yes. You could destroy me. I could. Please, don't. I stared at my phone. You destroyed Mia's trust. I know. You lied to everyone. I know. You nearly destroyed me. I know. I took a slow breath. You want me to forgive you. I want mercy. I cannot give you that. Then what will you do? I will give the evidence to the investigators. Ethan, please. I am not doing this for revenge. Then why? Because Mia deserved justice. I ended the call. David faced the consequences of his crimes. His company collapsed, his debts were exposed, and the people he had deceived finally learned the truth. I could have made his downfall public. I could have told everyone every ugly detail. But I stopped myself. Revenge would not bring Mia back. Justice was enough. Months passed. I returned to work. I started seeing Noah again. I learned how to eat dinner without staring at my phone. I learned how to sleep without expecting Mia's voice. Then my 32nd birthday arrived. My phone vibrated. My heart stopped. For 1 second, I thought I was hearing her again. I opened the notification. It was a voicemail. My hands trembled as I pressed play. My own voice filled the room. Happy birthday, Ethan. If you are hearing this, remember your promise. You said you would live. I smiled through tears. I had recorded it months earlier. I had made it for the man I used to be. Thank you, I whispered to myself. That afternoon, I drove to the old oak tree one final time. I carried Mia's photograph and her red scarf. I knelt beneath the branches and placed the photograph beside the roots. I kept your letters. I touched the scarf. I kept your memory. I looked at the photograph. But I am not going to stay here anymore. The wind moved through the branches. I smiled. You kept your promise. Now I'll keep mine. I'll live. I stood slowly. I loved you, Mia. I paused. I still do. But I finally understand that loving you does not mean dying with you. I left the photograph beneath the tree and walked toward my car. I did not turn around. For 7 years, leaving that place had felt like leaving Mia behind. This time, it felt different. I was not leaving her behind. I was carrying the best part of her with me. Her kindness, her courage, her love, and her final wish. I got into my car and started the engine. My phone remained silent. For once, I was grateful. I smiled and whispered, "Happy birthday" to me. Then I drove forward. Not because I had forgotten Mia. Not because the pain had disappeared. I drove because she had spent her final days trying to give me something I had been too broken to accept. A future. And finally, I was ready to live it. I knew the grief would return sometimes. I knew certain songs, birthdays, rivers, and quiet mornings would still hurt. But pain no longer frightened me. I had learned that healing did not mean forgetting. It meant remembering without being destroyed. Noah once asked me, "Are you finally okay?" I answered honestly, "No. But I'm finally living." He smiled. That's enough. For the first time, I believed him. I understood Mia's final gift was never the scarf, the photograph, or the letter. It was permission to stop waiting. And I finally accepted it. Without fear or guilt.